Greetings everyone, Clark coming to you from my own YouTube channel. The trend of Draw My Life videos has died down for a bit, but I think it'd be a good idea to show and tell you guys the story of my life. So I descended from a line of very adventurous people. The Clark family had settled in Virginia in 1630, about 140 years before I was born. I was born on August 1st, 1770 in Caroline County, Virginia, to my parents John Clark III and Anne Rogers. I had 9 other siblings. The first 4 were born in Virginia, and the 6 other were born on the frontier of Virginia. I was the 9th child in my family, which makes me the 6th son in my family. My older brothers were educated in encompassing literature, geography, history, and natural sciences. But I didn't receive that education, which probably explains why I spelled many words wrong and had interesting handwriting and terrible grammar. Although my family lived very west, my family was very involved in the community. We participated in rooster fights, balls, fox hunts, and shooting tournaments. One of my brothers, whom I looked up to, was my brother George Rogers, who was a Revolutionary War veteran. He commanded the Virginia troops near Kentucky. So after the Revolutionary War, my family moved down the Ohio River to a place named Mulberry Hill, where I learned about wilderness and natural history from George. In 1791, I fought under General Charles Scott's command against the Indians in the St. Clair's excursion, which was a big fail. We did not succeed. Then I was moved under the command of General Anthony Wayne. For a fun fact, I like to sort his mind by hair color, and I was a redhead. Then I was promoted lieutenant there for the 4th Brigade, where I learned how to draw maps, build forts, and fight Indians on the ground. Meriwether Lewis, a man I was soon to become great friends with, had come from the 2nd unit to my unit, the 4th unit. Lewis and I developed a deep connection and respect for each other. So I served the 1795 to 1796 term, but then I became ill with an obscure digestive disease, and in the middle of the term with Wayne, I also retired from the military, which was 1796 due to some family issues with business. I had to go help straighten out the issue. My brother George was in debt and owed thousands of dollars. In 1799, a terrible thing happened. My father passed away. It was a terrible loss. My father passing meant I inherited a large amount of land and some slaves. Lewis and I occasionally communicated. You know the days back then, no one had Wi-Fi. Between my retirement and his position in the further military service and position as private secretary for President Thomas Jefferson. So during those years, I met a very special girl named Julia Hancock, who I called Judy. She was a beautiful 12-year-old. Very young for me, I know, but love isn't about age, is it? Anyways, I decided I would marry her. In 1803, Lewis's wilderness expedition proposal was approved by Congress. He had the idea since 1792, by the way. He sent me a letter asking me if I would be a co-captain with him. I said yes, of course. I sent him my reply on July 29th. The expedition was known as the Corps of Discovery. It's actually quite interesting how the people who were a part of it did not refer to it this way. The term Corps of Discovery was made known by Sergeant Patrick Gass. For our roles, there was a small mix-up. At one point, I was apparently a rank lower than him because it seemed like it was a military expedition. Then on October 26, 1803, I was finally determined captain of the expedition, which I had to sign a bunch of official documents, including Indian certificates. Despite the weird position mix-ups, Lewis and I treated each other as equals. He told me, "Your situation, if joined with me in this mission, will in all respects be precisely such as my own." I was on my way to go meet up with Lewis. I departed in May from Virginia to Pittsburgh on a specially designed keelboat and accompanied by a pirogue, which is a small river boat with my Newfoundland dog, Seaman, and a party of 11 hands. Among these men was a slave named York. I had known him since childhood and decided to take him along the expedition to help. York was treated like an equal on the expedition. I had a bit of trouble with shallow water and needed some horses. Eventually, in mid-October, I met up with Lewis in Clarksville, opposite Louisville in the Indiana Territory. On May 14, 1804, we made a